I'm beginning to learn what I don't love about this BCA 10 ball league format. So stay with me here. These are quick ones though. You'll see you see the runtime on the video, and if you've seen the previous ones, they're just 2 games. You play 3 different opponents on that particular night, and I'm playing a 524. I think I played Jason once before. Can't remember, but you can play like a 500 something can play. And scratching on the break can be deadly here. He can play lock up safe at some point, or if he likes the run out, he's going to go for the run out. This was first game of the night. I'm at this point where I'm not really feeling like it's so necessary to warm up, but still, you come in a little weird, a little shaky maybe, or some nerves coming up. And as we've seen before, these tables play pretty easy, right? So they're going to be kind of forgiving if you're comfortable. And basically all you can do is watch, scratch and turn the table over like this. And Jason was feeling it, I have to say, this particular night. So he opts to play the 4 off the 6, and I think it's probably a good choice here because if you try to play the combo, the 6 is going to go, but then it's going to send the 4 to maybe get tangled on the 10 or come across too far over onto the long rail. In this case, honestly, and you'll see it in one of the later videos from this week of play, you can play that ball. You can just sort of bank it in basically, and the pockets are big enough that it'll go without having to play off the 6, but he plays a good shot. He plays it off the 6, and really he just has to navigate the 6 to the 7, and then he should be in pretty good shape here. But looking at bridging over the 6, a little uncomfortable, but just a simple stop shot really to give himself an angle on the 6. So that cooperates, and he could look to come around and get above the 7. He could try to speed control to play into this window. If he really wants to slow roll it, he ends up under the 7. So a little fuller into the 6 and stays under the 7 ball here. Lots and lots of options to get on the 7. And the 8's wide open, so you just need to make sure that you're on the proper side of the 7 to take you towards the 8. So he's just going to roll through the 7 ball most likely. Yeah. And doesn't want to be straight on the 8. He's enough up table to where the angle's going to want to take him back down for the 9. So he's got a good line here. And this is one of those weeks where I came home with the recordings a little nervous about posting, just because I'm not super proud of some of these matches. But I think you guys know me by now. I'm gonna post it, not withholding the weird stuff. I think I'm putting it up there, just as much for me as I am for you. I want to learn from these things and see what I can be doing differently. Certainly, avoiding scratching on the break would help. And meanwhile, Jason's getting out. He's a little funny on the 9 ball here, but he can kind of dig into it. Maybe a touch of inside. Doesn't want to add so much inside spin, right-hand spin in that case, that he risks missing the 9. But he's got to bear down and make the 10 ball, and then he's made a good out. He's made a table run here after a scratch on the break. I expect him to make this. It goes. If you're new, make sure to like and subscribe. Put out this content. I talk a lot about strategy and mental game and emotional state and coping with nerves and that sort of thing. But the likes and the subs and the and sharing the video is something new that I'm trying to call out. That kind of thing can help a lot if you know somebody who might enjoy this kind of thing. Spreading it, getting more eyes on it, and just kind of get more people in here basically, so that we have really rich discussion, which we do already in the comments. That kind of thing helps out a lot. So he calls a push, sort of nudging off the 10 and into the 4 and pushing the 4 up table a little bit. And I remember mulling this one over for a good bit. It's an interesting situation. You're You're bridging over the 9. Oh, my head is going to be just in the way. I might have to skip ahead in the video here because we don't need to be looking at the back of my head for that long, but let's see if I can. We'll pause the video. Yeah, so interesting situation because you've got some options. You're bridging over the 9. You can take the 1 ball thin. Going to maybe kind of send you into the 3. Tuck behind the 3, but it's a long, slow roll on this table. Can be a little treacherous if the table's not rolling true. Thinking about playing it with pace, what is that going to give you? You come kind of full into the 1. Are you calling it? Are you just kind of going firm at it and trying to spread things out? I think probably the best play would be to come thin off the 1 and try to bury him into the 2, 3, 5 somewhere in here. But I remember coming away from it just feeling like it was too touchy. I didn't really trust the roll, and I would rather have him shoot at it and potentially give me a look at something. I just wasn't seeing anything offensive here in this case. So I end up turning this over. And I don't mind that decision in this case. I think that works out. You could, I guess, come on the right side of the 7 here with left-hand spin to get into the 1 ball, try to kick and stick. It's still touchy, still shooting over the 9. So he, not super, super slow roll, but he just comes into the 1. He didn't call anything. So if he had made the 3, it would have turned over to me. I have full access to the 1, but now I'm bridging over the 5, which is pretty uncomfortable. I opt for a safe here, I'm pretty sure. And I want to play a cue ball safe, send the 1 ball down table. I'm not too concerned about that position, but I want to put the cue ball in between the 2 and the 5 is the target. Jacked up over the 5 makes it kind of tough. Pretty good speed control here, but just leaked out slightly. I think that's tough, for me at my level to sort of try to, precisely control where it's coming in off that second rail on a shot where you're jacked up. That's just beyond me at this point. Played it pretty well, all things considered. I think I played that pretty good. Meanwhile, Jason's got to contend with a very thin cut on the 1. If you hit this wrong, although I don't expect him to scratch here, you can certainly scratch here. Now check this out, guys. He calls this corner pocket, and he just naturally lines up for this. Boom, boom, boom. 3 rail. I guess that's on. That's something that I don't look at. I don't recognize those. I think some players do those for fun, or their friends will be just kind of shooting around and they'll sort of get a good feel for it, especially on these bar tables. I don't look for that. I don't see those. I would consider that a weak spot in my game. Just not knowing that those are an option. And look at him just kicking these in, kicking this 2 ball in. Thin on the 3, but it is going to take him down below the 4. I think you play this rather full into the 3. Make sure that the cue ball's got momentum to come down. Touch a spin to get under the 4. Jason started talking to himself at this point, saying something about not knowing what to do with the 6. And then the shuffleboard people are getting in our way. I think shuffleboard's done though, guys. I think their season is over. I heard them giving out trophies or what have you at the end of their night. So if we end up playing more at this particular location, I don't think we'll have to contend with the shuffleboard people. He's kind of flat on the 5. He doesn't care though. He's just going to jump right down on it. Sort of run through that. Distance on the 6 isn't terrible because it takes you towards the 7, but he has not addressed the 9-10. The 9 does not go in the bottom right. Oh, I would take that ball in hand. He tried to do it. It'd be an interesting... I should set this one up on the home table. This sort of breakout shot, if it had to play off the 7 into the cluster. He's pretty choked up. His backhand is really high on the cue. He's going to go after him, though. He wants to go 2 rails into it. Not a bad attempt. I could see some players trying this bank. I don't know if he's got enough room past the 9 ball, or past the 10 for the 9 to hit where it needs to hit. Otherwise, you're stretching, maybe just coming thin off the 9 and trying to put me behind the 10. could be an option, but it's pretty touchy, especially, yeah, with the stretch. Yeah, maybe too hard to control that speed. Might be too low a percentage. Thin off the 9-ball this way and just play a cue ball safe. You don't want to give up a cut shot. I don't remember what he does here. I feel like he goes safe, but okay, maybe just simple safe, roll me up on it. A little adjusting while he's down. Can be forgiven for that in this case. So not a bad result. Camera angle might be a little deceptive here, but I remember this particular shot. There is a back cut on this 9-ball, but I did not want to take it because it's very thin. You're bridging over the 10, kind of off the rail, and you're turning the cue ball loose. It could take weird off these rails. You could end up scratching, give him ball in hand on the 10. You just don't want to sell that out. So I have to play safe here. But again, bridging over the 10, simple safe option is there. Just sort of driving the 9 into this area. Maybe you give up an option for a bank shot, but at least it's not a straight in. I feel like I call this side pocket, but with the intent to sort of double back the 9-ball and keep it safe on this rail. This is another one that I think I need to set up and run through some options because I did not feel confident with what I came up with here. Playing the bank was also risky to actually attack it and try to send it to the side pocket because the cue ball is just going to want to get gobbled up by this bottom right. I'm wondering now about bank the 9 back down towards the 10 and send the cue ball up table. This awkward cueing, though, is really hampering me. So yeah, I tried to basically just tighten it back up and keep it in here. It's not the best. Running this up the rail is a tough shot. If he makes that shot, he deserves to win this game, I would say. The bank might be on. I could see some players attacking that cross corner, but he just wants to send it up the rail. Jason's kind of fast and loose, you know, which can work out, I think, if you're not overcomplicating things. You're not second guessing necessarily. Yeah, not off by a ton, but oh, he just keeps wanting to. Oh, he says it was curving. I'm not sure about that, but he's trying to scratch for me. Another ball in hand that I would really enjoy. But now I'm faced with a long shot on the 9. I'll normally drill these in this particular position, just to give context, not by way of excuses, because it is what it is. But I'm literally like jabbing at the guys playing shuffleboard behind me, because I'm down on the bottom of the corner of the table here. So that was uncomfortable. But typically I'll line up on these. I'll hammer this in, and I'm going to come in sort of a tip low left, out and back, and play into this zone for the 10. Looks like I'm queuing okay. Oh man, yeah, so overcut it. Sent it into the point up here, into the just between the point and the short rail up here. And fluke the 9 in the bottom left, which honestly might have helped me out. If I had laid up the 9 down here, that's game over. If the 9 had come back up for the side, obviously that's going to be game over too. So probably for the best in my case that 9-ball dropped. And here, yeah, here again, he's kind of faced with a tough decision. I think a lot of players would try to bank it to the top right. He's calling a kick, so he wants to kick at it into the bottom right. And it's not an unnatural line, 1 rail or a 2 rail kick, 2 rail coming off the short rail like he does here, but it's still pretty missable. So he lays up the 10-ball for me, and I'm not missing these anymore, guys. Don't think that I'm going to miss this one. I'd be sick. I would be sick with myself if I missed this 10-ball. But it was not to be. So, split that. Not super happy with that, right? Not super happy with how that match went. Didn't really get a chance in the first game. Had some chances in the second game. Just didn't play great. But it's tough. It's a tough format. It's really short sets. And this particular night, it was just last night, so it's very fresh for me. this particular night, it took me kind of until the end of the night to really find my groove. So stay tuned. The next one is going to be interesting too. And then you get some fireworks for the third match of the night. So yeah, I think you guys are going to enjoy that. Make sure to give me some feedback. Let me know what you're thinking about BCA. It's doing okay, like in terms of the channel. It seems like it's getting some interest. It's fun for me. It's fun to put these together. They're easy enough to churn out, and it's good to review as always. So yeah, pop in there. Let me know what's up. Let me know what you think of this. Thoughts about strategy and pattern play and everything like that, as usual. And then I will see you again soon.